In less than 1 year, George Zimmerman went from slamming the Sanford Police Department to singing its praises.
I also have had the opportunity to take ride-alongs with the City of Sanford Police Department, and what I saw was disgusting.
He says, I have high hopes for and restored faith in your administration and the Sanford Police Department in its entirety.
Tonight, the Trayvon Martin family reacting right here on the show to a slew of stunning developments in the George Zimmerman case, including an inside look at exactly what kind of relationship Trayvon's shooter had with the local police. We've learned now that over a year before George Zimmerman shot Trayvon, Zimmerman was outraged over how police handled this brutal caught-on-tape beating of an African-American homeless man by the son of a police lieutenant. George Zimmerman accused cops of a cover-up and corruption and slammed the police department at a city hall meeting. Listen.
I also have had the opportunity to take ride-alongs with the City of Sanford Police Department, and what I saw was disgusting. The officer showed me his favorite hiding spots for taking naps, explained to me that he doesn't carry a long gun in his vehicle because, in his words, anything that requires a long gun requires a lot of paperwork, and you're going to find me as far away from it. He took 2 lunch breaks and attended a going-away party for one of his fellow officers.
But months later, when new police chief Bill Lee took over, Zimmerman's whole outlook on the Sanford Police Department changed. He wrote in a letter, I have high hopes for and restored faith in your administration and the Sanford Police Department in its entirety. He spoke specifically about the department's volunteer coordinator, writing in another email, he described his close working relationship and her quick responses to emails and phone calls. Straight out to Natalie Jackson, the attorney for Trayvon Martin's family. Natalie, what is the reaction to the Martin family to this new information about shooter George Zimmerman's relationship with the local police department that initially refused to arrest him after he shot Trayvon Martin dead?
Well, first I'd like to say, Jane, that we believe that George Zimmerman deserves a fair trial. So I don't want to get into George Zimmerman and his statements and everything. But if you ask me about the relationships of the police department, one of the reasons that we got involved in this case was because we were concerned about the actions of the police. Not just, George Zimmerman is one key, but we were concerned about the actions of the Sanford Police Department and the relationships that would cause a non-arrest in this case.
I want to bring in Mark Nejame, HLN legal analyst, a criminal defense attorney down there in Orlando where all this is going on. What do you make, Mark, of this backstory between George Zimmerman and the police, the fact that he was sending emails and phone calls to this community volunteer coordinator, so the cops had to have known who he was?
I don't know if I buy that one, Jane. Just because somebody sends an email to an administrator in a department doesn't really flow down to the officers in any bureaucracy that I'm aware of. I think that Natalie's point's well taken, though, and that this really has to do with a review of what went on with the Sanford Police Department and did they conduct an appropriate investigation. I think we now know that Chief Lee never met with him, and so the chief, who is the top of the food chain there, never met with Zimmerman to all the information that I've been able to glean. I think also it's important to realize that the state attorney's office is the one who makes the decision.